Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Boogeyman Radio. I am Sir Harold Shipman. If you can figure that out, you just won nothing. But over here to my right, it's Charlie.
It's Charlie.
It's Charlie.
Good old Charlie.
Good old Charlie. Actually, if you guys can figure out who Harold Shipman is, you win a free air guitar.
Exactly.
And Kelly, yes, she was like, tick tock, gentlemen. No, we just run it for a couple minutes to let the notification get out there that we're going live and all that stuff. So promo,
Yes.
Cassie, she was like, nice promo.
I thought you said bromo. Honestly, I really did.
Nice promo.
I thought you said nice bromo.
Nice chomo.
Whoa,
Mo. It's uncalled for, Cassie.
Whoa, mo. What?
It was whoa.
Whoa, mo. Too many omos.
The the promo I just threw together like literally before the show. I should have made it longer, but whatever. We'll fix it.
That's facts. That's 100% true. He did. I literally watched him do it.
Yeah. So tonight, guys, nice porno. Cassie's gonna get us kicked off.
Yeah.
Gonna get us kicked off, Cassie.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
Maybe
not, because they're okay with certain things, but not other things.
Yeah, as long as we use the right pronouns.
Oh, what? What's yes, God?
I don't think they have a problem with that.
Probably not, but that's okay. So how was your week, Dave?
Oh, my week is I don't know.
You don't know?
Kind of sucked, but it was kind of good. Like, I don't know. I didn't really do anything this past week. I just I took my daughter to Spirit Halloween for the first time.
Oh, wonderful.
First time she'd ever been.
Magical place.
I was kind of nervous because she's not really into the scary stuff yet. Like, she likes spooky, but she doesn't like scary. So we haven't took it up a notch yet, right?
Right.
And so I was kind of nervous about her going in there. We went in. She was kind of scared and tense, wanted me to hold her, as we were walking in and stuff. And we got over to the costumes. I put her down. I was like, all right, we're going to shop for a costume. We were actually there for decorations, but we ended up getting her a costume. So she walked around. She'd been wanting to be a witch for a while, and among other things, but she picked out a costume, a witch costume, which I like it. Bought her a broom to go with it and everything.
Nice.
So this Halloween, she's going to be a witch. She got the poison
witch. A poison witch?
Yes.
Okay.
She liked the green and black, so she's a poison witch.
Oh, okay. I got you. She's the... Yeah, we'll go with poison witch. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I was kind of afraid that the animatronics would scare the crap out of her, so I kept her away from that. But as we were checking out, there's a guy that stepped on one of them, and it scared the crap out of him, and she just laughed at him. So I was like, great. All right. So maybe next time, maybe this next week, we'll go back in there and we'll work around some more. Kind of get her. I really want to get her used to the scary stuff. So when the time comes, she can have some fun with me, scaring the crap out of her mom or whatever.
I think it's a genius idea.
Yeah. Absolutely. But outside of that, not much happening. There was a bunch of rain that hit, so I didn't get to go investigate like I wanted to.
Yeah, I understand how that goes.
Yeah, I had to cancel it was Harbor Village.
No.
I was going to go investigate there on Wednesday, but the rain I didn't want to be outside. It's an outdoor museum, if you guys don't know. So I didn't want to be caught outside in the rain and all that with
Right.
equipment.
I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Lori, Cassie, Josh, Kelly. Hi, y'all.
See
Good to have you here.
everybody on Kick.
Everybody on
Anybody
Kick.
I need to go into the dashboard.
There's like 1 or 2 people, I think.
Righty. If you're on Kick, what is up? Let us know that you're here by saying what's up.
Hey, yo. Minus.
Charles, you on a sugar rush from
So
your cake?
So my week. We'll
let's
segue
just
that
jump
into my
your
week.
'Cause
So
my week's-
it was my birthday week. My birthday was Saturday. The week,
Shout out Ari.
week, not really anything too eventful. Had to work, right?
Yeah.
Friday, drove 5 hours away from Kansas City. I'm going down south into Arkansas. Was able to go to an investigation at a sanatorium. I don't want to say just in case, but I know people post about it, some of them, but I want to say
Yeah.
in case. So that was great. That was my first. I think that was my first sanatorium. So, which was really neat.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure it was.
Wow.
Pretty sure it was. And so, well, thanks, Kelly. Appreciate that. So yeah, that was awesome. Like just even being outside the place, I took a couple pictures and stuff, and it's a big building, right?
It is a big
So,
building.
and you were right. With it raining that morning and the night before, it really helped keep a lot of dust down. But there was still some dust. You could tell,
Yeah.
easy, especially in the basement. But it's no big deal. I did take a respirator, so respirators definitely do work.
And you look fabulous in it.
Yes, so not just cloth masks, but actual respirators.
Yeah.
And
Kelly says happy belated birthday, by the way.
thank you, Kelly. And so I put it on, and I told Kusik, I was like, I probably look really stupid. He's like, nah, it's your thing. It's you. Because I had my hat on, my flashlight band that goes around my head, and my respirator on.
Yeah.
And I had headphones around my neck, like an actual band of headphones, kind of like this, attached to my recorder. So I looked just all get up, right? Yeah. So I should have got a picture. Really, I should have. But so that was a great time. Had some very interesting things happen.
Which we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Yes, I don't want to get into details.
What's up for you guys?
But I'm just explaining my week. So then the next day, I had to drive back to Kansas City, pretty much immediately in the morning when I woke up. I think I left around 10:30.
So you got quite a bit of sleep? About 8 hours?
Yeah, I left the location at 12:30, got back around probably 1:30, and passed out around 2. So got up around, and I took a shower immediately when I got back. So,
So you got some decent sleep.
yeah, I got some decent sleep. It really wasn't bad, thank goodness. But I will say I had to chug an energy drink to make it through that last probably hour and a half, 2 hours of driving.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, God, I wasn't looking good. I mean, I've driven 71 highways so much that it's just oh yeah, I can drive it. My stuff. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes. But driving through Arkansas, I love driving through Arkansas.
Around Fort
So
Smith and between
much.
Fort Smith and Fayetteville.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
And it's gorgeous.
Well, and that tunnel right there is just
Yeah.
one of my favorite spots too, and it also just kind of solidifies the point that I would love to retire and live in Arkansas. I love
In Arkansas or just the Ozarks?
Ozarks, Arkansas, don't care. Northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, somewhere in there. I would love to retire and live there. It's so beautiful. So that was great. Came back and was able to hang out with some really awesome folk on Saturday.
And then what'd you do?
And then Haunted and Soul Society was having an event at the Ray County Museum, and it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Lori, bless her soul, got me a huge amethyst crystal, which I have right over here.
Yeah, let's see that bad boy. Here, I'll big screen it too. We'll go that far.
Oh, don't do it yet.
Okay.
Okay. But so aside from that, had an awesome time investigating there. Oh, and she got me a cake too.
Yeah.
She got me a freaking cake, so that's why she mentioned the sugar rush. It was
Was
cake
it a
with
unicorn?
cupcakes surrounded about it too. No, it was a smiley face. It actually had like a plastic smiley face on it.
Cool.
It was funny. So that was a great time. And unbeknownst to me, I had no idea that she was coming, but Stephanie from McIntyre Villa was there,
Yeah, I was pretty surprised.
awesome.
She sent me a picture with you, and I
Yes.
was like, son of a bitch. I didn't know she was going to be
It
there.
was amazing seeing her, and
Yeah.
just everybody from the group, was just super nice.
She sent that picture. I yeeted it.
Yeah, she was like, "What the hell does yeet mean?" Like, and she looked it up on Google, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like when you chuck things and you throw it, like yeet."
Well, there's
She's
yeet.
like, "Did he just yeet me?" And then she said, then she had some harsh words that I dare not repeat
Oh, no.
on Facebook.
They're not uttered.
Yeah, so I'd rather just not. But so this is the beautiful amethyst.
Let me
that
big screen you.
yes, this is the beautiful amethyst that Lori got me. It's
That was
just
awesome.
I love it. It's probably my favorite piece that I've ever gotten.
It
So
looked like a baked potato.
just kill my teeth, right? Like it looks like rock candy, but
That'll help your cold.
it's nice. And I will say that first night that I came back, I slept so well. It was amazing. So I definitely think crystals do help with sleep. At least I have a salt crystal or a salt lamp crystal.
Yeah.
Next to me pretty much at all times. But amethyst is really good for you.
I wonder if you could shine a light through that amethyst. Oh my goodness. Yeah, shine a light through that amethyst. You know what? I'm gonna make fun of myself here, guys. But if it would reflect all the colors onto the wall and shit.
I'm trying to find my flashlight, but I can't find it.
Because that
I
would be
had
cool.
one. Ready to go. I didn't leave them back.
Did you keep it in? Is it still packed away?
Yeah, it's in my backpack right next to me.
Okay.
But I can't seem to find them. Oh no. Oh wait, wrong pocket.
Lori said, "Awesome! I knew it would work for you."
Oh, it does. It has, and it will. I'm kidding. It'll work wonders. Here it is. So let's see here. Let's see if shining some light on it will look good. Nah, it looks cool, but it doesn't really do much.
I mean, yeah, turn off the lights and stuff, and then shine it through, and see if it reflects on the walls.
Fair enough.
That's what I
It's
mean.
pretty foggy, but it's got some really cool quartz in it too, not just amethyst. It's just gorgeous. So a lot of deep purples in there too. It just looks bright. So bright. Yep.
Yeah.
So I am pretty happy about this. But so yeah, went to Ray County, spent some time with some amazing folk, and yeah, that's pretty much my week. And I came back home. I've pretty much been relaxing ever since. The Chiefs had a great win on Sunday. Sorry, Dave, but
We're not going to talk about it.
yeah. What
We will get canceled.
You will get canceled.
But
I agree with
anything happened, Ray?
you. Fields sucks. What?
Yeah, he's not doing too hot.
But yes, there was definitely some interesting. Well, yeah, thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. Yes, there was definitely some interesting things at Ray County. Mitch, my roommate, he actually had some interesting things happen to him as well. So we'll definitely be talking about that here after a bit when we get into the thick of things. But
They like 'em fixed.
I think we had more activity at Ray County than at the tuberculosis sanatorium. It's quite interesting. So yeah, that was my week. It was fun. It was a great time.
So, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Charles's investigation. We're just going to talk about the sanatorium a little bit because that's a place that I've investigated before, several times before, and now Charles has got to investigate there. And I actually tried not to say anything about the place or show him really any evidence. I think I showed you one clip. That was it.
Yeah, probably.
And you guys will see that clip too. But I try not to say anything about it, so I wouldn't.
Well, I didn't want to know anything either. Like, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I asked Koopsik. I remember asking him, like, "Hey, did things happen here?" And he said yes. And I was like, "Okay, cool. Where?" But he didn't say what happens.
Yeah.
So, try to cover my P's and Q's.
I wonder if we should get a picture to post on here so people can see what the building looks like.
Oh, the building looks like? Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see. You want to get it or you want me to get it?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, you get it. I am burping up a storm back here.
I just did the same thing. Nice. Let's get an old-timey photo, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
It works.
Several days later.
Literally. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's way too small of a picture. Of course, postcards. I hate it.
I just thought you might have had one from your phone or something.
I mean, I did, but can't put it straight from my phone to theirs. So.
Okay. Well, we can.
We're good. We're good. I got one.
We'll go with this.
Yeah, we got this. And boom.
There we go.
That's what she looked like. It's a huge building. Huge.
Absolutely.
Huge. And come to find out that the second floor was used as a haunted house.
Yep.
As a haunted attraction, some might say. So it was
First
really cool.
Floors, offices.
Yeah. Which is still being used today.
Yeah, it's a really cool place to go. You know, on the very top, I'm going to pull that picture back up real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
On the very top, there's a floor there. You can see it in the middle section. There's like an extra level there.
Yeah.
That's like where the elevator engines are, but it's also like the janitor's like area. There's like a workshop type stuff up there. Very interesting area. I've got some audio I want to play for something that happened there.
Do it.
Here in a little bit. But my first encounter with this place was years ago, like years and years ago.
Yes.
So long that like this place wasn't even cleaned out yet.
Yeah, it was. It's crazy.
Like you got to see what you saw was clean.
Not really.
No, it was. Clean.
I know. It was clean, but it wasn't really clean.
Like there was still like asbestos.
Everywhere. Oh yeah.
There was debris all over in the hallways. Like you could barely walk anywhere.
That was still sections of the basement for sure.
Furniture and stuff was still in the rooms. And that was like my first time there. And then throughout the years, of course, they cleaned it up because they had to.
Yes.
Now, the reason they don't nobody really puts it out there and they don't let anybody like film anything there is because it's still an active campus that it's located on. It's a government facility.
Yeah, there's actually a building. So the angle that that this picture showed, on the opposite side behind it, there's still patients there.
Yeah.
So and they know we're there. They can see us in there like with flashlights and stuff. So and apparently some are allowed to wander the grounds.
Yeah. So basically, the grounds is like a place where people that are mentally handicapped can learn to live on their own. Yes. And that's basically what a lot of this is now. Yeah. So there is that aspect of it, but when you're inside the building, you don't really have to worry about that much. We did have a couple of them about getting a fist fight out in the street one night. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But the craziest thing about this building to me, though, is like the scenarios that we were told about.
Yeah.
On that third floor, you know how they have these glass dividers?
Oh, right? Yeah.
So on one end of the hall, I don't know if you ever seen it or noticed it, there's a room that has cage windows.
Yes. Yeah. It was basically like a solitary area, right?
Sort of, yeah. And that was also a place where they actually housed a cannibal.
Oh, good.
And on the opposite end of that building, same floor, opposite end of the building was like a children's ward.
Huh.
So they had like a cannibal here and children out here. So it's like
Unfortunately, I didn't get to spend much. The only time I got to spend time on the, oh gosh. So when you're looking at the building, basically the right side from the front entrance, I didn't get to spend a lot of time down on that wing of the building, except for when I was in the basement. Every other time it was up in like the left-hand section. Right. So, kind of, but it also, we had like 3 different groups, so it's kind of hard to balance it out a little bit. It was good. It was okay.
Now let's talk about some of the areas that you had some experience in, because one of your experiences I found interesting.
So the first time I went by myself, I was isolated in the very bottom right of the basement. So it was just, from what David told me, there was a bunch of beds. So basically, like, let's see if can you see kind of where my marker is? So it was basically like this wing of the.
Okay, so you were on the opposite end of the one that I was wanting you to go to.
Over here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wasn't over there. Well, I think I was there for my other isolation session, but I was over here.
You're facing when
you're looking at the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the left side, not the right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was on the bottom right side. There was a big open couple rooms that I stayed in, and but so with that being said, though, I had 2 cat balls laying down in the so there was 2 rooms that were opened up. I'm pretty sure there was a divider. It looked like there was a divider at one point, but the room that you first walk into, I had 2 cat balls laying in the floor, one in front of the door and one like a good 10 feet away from it.
Right. And
for those who don't know what cat balls are, it's these little things. You press a button, they do that. If you're touching it or moving it or whatever. So, concrete floor. No way I could set these things off. I stomped. I even shouted, try to get my vocals maybe to vibrate, make it go off. Nothing would go off. So I'm in there asking questions, whatever. And then one ball lights up, and then the next ball lights up. And I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. Like, maybe that's like me. So that's when I did the stomping and the shouting and stuff. Right. And then they both just went off. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'll start asking questions. It was, I have the audio. I haven't gone over it yet. I need to. But I was doing active listening with the audio. So I didn't really hear anything as far as audio goes, like while active listening. But I will say later on, I did go back and listen to a clip, and it sounded like I heard something. So I need to go back and just listen to it. Maybe I didn't hear it in the active listening. So, anyways, back to that section. There were 4 people in the basement, including myself. I was in the far right-hand wing. Kupsik was kind of in the middle area. And then there was the other 2 were in the middle area, and Kupsik was in the far wing. So we were all a good distance from each other that we would not be able to hear each other unless we yelled or something,
Yeah.
But at one point I swore that I heard footsteps above me and the floor above me. And Jason didn't know how, I told Jason about it at Kupsik, and he didn't fully understand how that was possible because the floors apparently are really thick.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know how I heard that. But then at another point, it sounded like there were footsteps right outside the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, well, this is interesting. I'm clearly getting some weird things happening. So I even peeked out and went, hello? Anybody there? And no response. So I was like, well, that was weird. That's some weird stuff. But and then the cat balls went off a couple more times. But overall, didn't have any oh my gosh, craziness. Right. I will say you do see what looks like shadow figures in that place pretty regularly.
Yes.
Because I remember standing in that room, and then off to my right side, I could see the door in the other room away from me. And it looked like there was a shadow out there kind of playing peekaboo a little bit in the hallway. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's weird.
So they'll stand out in the hallway there, too. I'll have to see if I can't find that picture sometime tonight. There was a photo captured from another group down the hallway, and there's like half a figure of a shadow
Oh, wow.
figure at the end of the hall, just standing there. Like it's
That makes a lot of sense, because there were several times that Matt and Jason would just be like standing in the middle of the hallway looking down like the entire hallway. And I'm like, what do you guys like? Then I figured, I was like, okay, they're probably looking for shadow people, but I didn't realize how much shadow people played or were, a part of this building.
Yeah.
So it was definitely very interesting.
Did Matt mention the time he and I were investigating and we had like this little girl's voice right between us?
I don't think so.
We were on the second floor going, like you said, it was set up for like a Halloween haunted house.
Yeah.
And some of the rooms there, you could go from one room into the next room and then back out into the hallway. And that's what we were doing. We went through one room. We thought we heard something, and we go to the next room. We're about to come out, and we hear this little girl's voice.
Oh, wow.
And I turn around, and he starts freaking out. I'm like, holy crap, we just heard this voice. And I don't think we were running a recorder at the time, which blows. I know.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But I do have a couple captures from this place that I want to play for everybody. So you might need headphones because they are kind of low. Okay. Let me pause this music and stuff.
Turn off the noise.
Turn off the noise because you're gonna want to hear this.
I'm turned up my audio.
So this first one was interesting because like the audio, like it's very faint, the voice, but I'm just gonna play it and then I'll go more into it. It's the female voice.
I thought I heard like a yeah, I hear something there. Definitely
So
there.
what it sounded like to us was somebody saying cancer.
Oh, something with cancer. Yeah.
Just a female saying cancer.
Okay, cancer.
I'll play it again.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. That could be power suggestion, but I hear it.
Yeah.
Man.
So a long time ago, I started doing the phone and EVP sessions.
Yes.
And this was like the second place we ever did this. And we actually had Barry. Barry was not there at the location. And so we decided to have him do the phone and EVP session. For those that don't know what this is, what we do is we'll have somebody that's not at the location call our cell phone. We'll put them on speakerphone. We'll set the phone in an area all by itself with a digital recorder, and then we leave. And then that person does an EVP session over the phone. Now, the reason we do this is because if we're there, we're speaking in acoustics. It's an acoustic frequency. You could do this with a recorder of your voice, a recording of your voice, and play it back, which will put off an electronic frequency. Well, a cell phone will put off an electronic frequency, but it's a different frequency range than, just playing a playback. So about, I would say, maybe 60, 70% of the time that we do this, we actually have some interesting anomalies that happen. Sometimes we capture voices on the audio recording. Sometimes we have like some weird static that sounds like it's coming over the phone. The people that are on the phone will hear static on their end, or they'll hear voices. We've captured footsteps happening in the location during these sessions, actual voices coming through the phone during some of these sessions. And this particular session, we set him up down in the basement. So where the what they call the morgue, right? Yeah. The morgue, which is basically the kitchen hamper, I guess. You put the foods and stuff like that in the fridge.
Right.
Anyway, so there are two. If you're facing the hall to the right of that room, there was an area that was, I think it's probably still this way, but there were some walls that weren't finished. Like they were kind of doing some kind of construction over there or something.
Yeah.
So I set him up right in there, and I stayed there this time. This is the first time I've ever done this. Was staying there because we had some really cool stuff happen from the Titanic Museum when we did this, and I wanted to see
Oh,
if
okay.
we could capture it. So I stayed there in the room, but I remained silent for the most part. There's some point on the recorder you hear something from Barry's end, and I ask him if he's eating because to me it sounded like he was opening a bag of potato chips while he's doing this. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Are you eating? And he's
like,
telling me,
no.
he's like, no, I'm
I've
going through my papers.
I do remember hearing this clip.
Okay. He's like, no, I'm just going through some of my papers here. And whenever he says that, off in the distance, there's like this yell that happens. And I didn't hear it at the time. But somehow it captured on the recorder audio. So I'm going to play this clip for you guys.
Are you eating?
No, sorry, that was paper.
Are you eating?
No, sorry, that was paper.
I'll play it one more time.
Are you eating?
No, sorry, that was paper.
So, did they tell you about this male spirit that's supposed to be down in the basement?
No, I don't think so, actually.
So I think his name is supposed to be Robert, I believe.
Okay.
And he doesn't like anybody being down in the basement.
Well, I was down there, so
Yeah.
twice, but one time completely by myself.
Apparently he doesn't like anybody being down there, and he will yell at people. That's one of his things. And you will hear footsteps.
Definitely heard footsteps.
And what's interesting to me about your experience with that, in that area of the basement, is the only part of the basement I really get the creeps in. That wing.
It was.
It's
I definitely
creepy.
felt something. And
Yeah.
that wing is creepy, dude.
It's so crazy.
I was definitely on edge, and honestly, I kept getting the image of like someone outside looking in at me.
Right.
Like I kept like, am I gonna like look and turn and like shine my flashlight on the glass and just like a face? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I kept thinking that, and I'm just like, oh god, I hope that doesn't happen.
And what's weird, even during the daytime, you could walk down these halls and you can just
Oh yeah,
look at every room and just expect there to be somebody in a random room
Yeah.
just there for a second. And you're like, ah.
but it was, dude.
Yeah.
So this other time that I was down there, so I wanted to do, I for sure wanted to do an isolation session, and Koopsik's like, well, you have two spots that you can go, and I got to pick where I wanted to go, and it was in one of the rooms where there was some sort of like an operation table bed, I think,
Mhm.
where, well, it was right next to that room technically, because the room that I was technically in was a cold storage for food. Some people claim that it was a morgue.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a morgue.
No.
It was not a good enough space for morgue storage. So I was in there, and I had my recorder, my EDI meter, Jason Koopsik's one of his creepy baby dolls that moves and can like, it'll move when it hears things, and like I think it senses motion too. I'm not quite sure, but I think it does. And he also had a camera pointed at me with night vision. And that was the starting off. He actually changed it up a little bit. So technically I had like a one big session, which was like 50 minutes. But so the first time out doing it, like before he changed things up a bit, I had a cat ball, I think somewhere like right in front or something. It didn't go off. Actually, no, I didn't do cat balls at all. I wanted this to be more of like audio. So I just kind of was like, you know what? Let's see if I can get some EDI hits and some audio, and let's see what we can make happen. So I was asking tons of questions, and I didn't really feel much,
Mhm.
but I did notice a shift in the room, in like where around me, something felt off all of a sudden.
Okay.
And I started to ask some questions, and I think I asked, "Are you? Oh yeah, were you a patient?" And then nothing. Did you work there? And it went beep beep on my EDI meter, and I'm just like, huh, yeah, exactly. I was like, huh, okay. So I started asking, well, what was your I asked like, what kind of occupation did you have? Were you a janitor, a custodian? Same thing, but I wanted to change the word up a little bit. A nurse or what have you. I didn't really get any more answers on like what they did to work. I didn't feel like something in my head said, "Hey, ask about children," but I didn't ask about it because it just didn't feel right. So I didn't ask anything about like any child presence or anything like that. But it definitely, I thought it was a male. It felt like it, and I kept getting some like EMF hits. There was no like when I went into that room, I did a baseline sweep, no EMF whatsoever in like around that area. So I didn't get any hits on the EDI meter. But about 10 minutes into the session is when it started to blip. My phone was on airplane mode the entire time, and I have tested it out several times with the EDI meter. When your phone is in airplane mode, it will not set off the EDI meter at all, for mine at least. So when it is on like actual phone signal, that thing pegs like nobody's business. So I just make sure to keep it on airplane mode for sure. So after that, it just started to feel like just a normal little room. And Koopsik came downstairs and he's like, "Hey, I want to try something." I was like, "Okay, cool, let's do this." So he brought down this frequency generator kind of thing where it was just an app on a tablet, and he hooked his Bluetooth speaker to it, and
Yeah.
and he could set it to like just a certain tone, and it would go just constantly with that tone. Well, the tone started to kind of get annoying and hurt my ears a little bit, so I was like, "Does that sound hurt you? If it does, turn it off. You have my permission to either change the tone or turn it off." Maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, when I'm just kind of sitting there in the dark, you kind of hear like something muffled the sound, and then the sound came back. So it was like a like sound.
Yeah.
And I kept asking questions. I was like, okay, that was weird. I was like, what though? Like kind of that shouldn't be doing that. It should be just a constant sound. Yeah. And then I asked something else, and then it did it again, like 2 or 3 minutes later. Well, before the session ended, I asked one more time. I was like, "Look, that's really starting to annoy me. Can you please turn the sound off?" Immediately did that muffle sound, like right after I asked that. And so I'm like, I don't think this device should be doing this. And so I asked
it's not
Jason,
supposed to.
like immediately when Jason comes downstairs, because like the first time it did it, I thought it was Jason. I thought Jason was messing with it, but he already went back upstairs. On my recorder and the camera, you could hear me saying, "Koopsik, Jason," like yelling out loud, "Is that you?" Like, dude.
Yeah.
And wasn't him. So I told him that, and he's like, "Yeah, it's not supposed to do that at all. It's supposed to just be the straight sound." And I was like, "Okay, so what would cause that?" And he said that it was most likely the only time that it would change is if something's trying to put its hand over it or come in between you and that sound. I'm like, okay, so maybe something was like passing or something tried to silence it. So that was very interesting.
You know where he got that, right?
Probably you.
Spurrier.
Yeah, because Spurrier likes messing with noises because I remember, or sounds, because I remember us doing that in the Garnett house, not just tuning forks, but on an app too.
Yeah, we did that at the Carpenter's Mortuary.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
So if you guys ever want to see that, go to Haunting History, watch Carpenter's Mortuary. I think it was the second part 2.
Yeah. Well, and I had told him like the type of questions that I was asking, and he's like, "Huh, I never thought about asking, like having them use the device." And I'm like, "Really? Like that's kind of on, Jason. That's a first." Like, I was like, "That's like a must." I would love to see if they can manipulate it, because they can manipulate other devices. So why not do it there? Another thing that happened. This is interesting. We had a group of girls go upstairs, and they heard like a loud like, and it like shook the building. right?
Huh.
So I was thinking like, okay, maybe like something outside, a metal door closing, something like that. So we went up, Jason, myself, and his wife. We went up to that isolation room where it was caged off. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And we heard the same thing. But with my active listening, I could hear a motor going, and it sounded like it was either a generator or an air conditioner. And that thing would do it ever so often. Because for us, you could hear it kick on and it was normal, whatever.
Yeah.
But then like, the second time you would hear it, it sounded like a doo, and it kicked on. And it's just like it had to be faulty machinery or something that made that, because there's no reason it would shake the entire floor right there.
Right.
So they thought it was paranormal, but we were like, nah, this is totally debunked. This is what it is. So we were able to reduce that down to just some equipment from the other building, which was actually like, if you go up the hill behind the building, it was at perfect level with where we were at.
Huh.
So it makes sense why that would shake the floor that we were on.
Yeah.
When the windows rattle and stuff like that. So that was the only other thing, but it was just like it didn't happen again. So it was just that one time for us. But we were just like, that's an interesting coincidence that it would make that noise and the motor would just continue running right after that noise. So like it kicked on and it like kind of sound.
Right.
But yeah, it was an interesting place. So thank goodness.
There was one time I need to show you the episode. So like before Haunting History.
Yeah.
The very first place we did a test run of filming, basically, was at the tuberculosis sanitarium.
Oh, nice.
I made an episode out of it. This is before we got like really good at editing and and before we had good cameras and stuff like that. But we shot there and we did come up with some good evidence. But one of the weird things was during the daytime, like I was there by myself.
Yeah.
John had to go back to the hotel room and get some stuff and come back. But I stayed there and I was walking around during the day. Just nobody was in the building. And I'm on the first floor and a radio turns on.
What?
Is either a radio or a TV in one of the offices turns on.
Huh.
And it just plays. I have the episode queued up here, guys. So bear with me. I'm going to skip through to those points. I want to show you the stuff because I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let me switch this over to a different view. Hey. Whoa!
You're so small.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let me fast forward, guys. If
Uh,
you guys want to see the full episode, I mean, we're gonna have to like.
it's on Haunting History, right?
No,
Oh,
this is a never
like-
before seen.
this is original. That's what
Original.
it's on. Shit. Okay.
Play audible voices from quiet voices to people by itself. I don't know if this was on auto setting or if it was anything paranormal by itself.
Scoot back a little bit.
Look at that old-fashioned T-shirt. Oh my god.
Still have it.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Listen.
As
Oh
I was
yeah.
setting up equipment, a radio in one of the rooms actually turned on by itself. I don't know if this was on auto setting or if it was anything paranormal, but it definitely caught me off guard.
I was like, please knock back.
That's right, Cassie. We didn't have access to this wing, by the way.
To the offices.
Yep.
Oh, and one other thing that happened here, before we even filmed there, I don't know if you've never met Leon. So there's a guy that was on my team named Leon, and we get there, we unload, and at the time, this is so long ago, we unloaded and took everything into a room on the first floor there, and
The office area, or not the office, the gathering room, probably.
not that one. Like when you come into the back door, and
Yeah.
you go to the left. It was
Oh.
like a just like one or two rooms down. on the left side. But we got everything loaded in, set down. Everybody else is sitting except for me. I just put something down, and I was about to say something, and we hear like some female in the hall like say hello or something really loud. And Leon and I look at each other. I'm like, okay, you heard that, because his eyes went whoop. And we ran around this building, right?
Nice.
Couldn't find a thing. Door was locked because, when you close that exterior door, automatically locks.
Yep.
You can't come in. You can go out, but you can't come in. Never before seen exclusive. Not quite. We're not going to watch the whole thing, Cassie.
Oh, just this part. So I will say, when people go on investigations, they need to learn volume level of their own voices when they're walking around. Yes, this place was big. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when I was trying to do an isolation session and people were in the stairwell laughing and giggling like nobody's freaking business, it ruins the investigation.
This being around the stairwell and then being by one of the elevators.
Yes.
The sound travels up and down.
Absolutely. So on multiple times, when I was trying to do an investigation, well, myself and other people were trying to investigate, we would hear people in the other groups more than ourselves.
Yeah.
So be respectful, guys.
Just didn't sound like it was very controlled there.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Which it's okay. I'm not upset that I went. I'm not upset at like mad.
Yeah.
It's just I was told this was an investigation, not an event.
Right.
So when myself and other people want to investigate, it's hard when there's other people that don't have the maturity to treat it like an investigation.
Yes.
So events, that's a completely different story. Completely different story. I don't go into events expecting to be getting down to the nitty-gritty of investigating. I expect to bring my normal base gear and just have some fun, right?
Right.
Investigating when I'm actually in the mood to investigate, and what's up, Silent?
Hey.
Good to see you, buddy. And Cassie knows exactly what I'm talking about too. Preach,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Preach, brother.
Events, like I said, I completely understand. People want to have fun. They're going to be loud. You can't control events, really.
I mean, you can control events.
You can, but it
just depends on who's controlling it.
Well, yes, and it depends on the people, too, that come in to participate in the events.
Right.
I paid my $60. I'm gonna, yeah, exactly. So, right. So, yes, I was, and I talked to Koopsik about this, too. I was a little bummed about some things, but I didn't let it get to me and ruin my night. I still had a great night. I'd love to go back and explore some of the areas I didn't get to explore. So
we will.
It was a great place. But before we should probably talk about Ray County Museum, huh?
Hang on. I got.
You got one more thing? Okay, cool. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun. Sorry.
Yeah. I had another piece that I wanted to show everybody, and this was like the biggest piece out of this video that I like to show people. And yes, sir. So we were on the opposite side of the building that you were in.
Yeah.
This is the area I was trying to get you to go to.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to weave through. Like,
it was like a freaking maze in the basement. It's crazy.
But when you do make it through, there's a couple rooms that has like all the old beds and furnishings from the hospital. And we were down there filming, and we kept hearing some bangs and knocks and stuff like that, and then it just got like dead there. So we decided we were going to move along down the hall a little bit further, and we ended up capturing this voice that wasn't very nice.
Oh,
yeah. As we were walking away, you'll hear a voice go, "Hey, stupid." Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. quite comical, if I do say so myself.
Further down. Higher than that disc. That other was like an 80 something, and that disc was at 60 something.
Go figure.
As we made our way out of the basement,
That's pretty
the
good.
camera's audio was able
That's
to pick up
pretty
this
good.
voice saying, "Hey, stupid. We didn't hear this at the time, nor was it captured on any of our recorders."
Go figure. Go figure.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. That's clear as day. Hey, stupid. Like that's
Hey, stupid.
yeah, that's really good.
But yeah,
Silent. I don't think that was the same person.
definitely not the Alice Cooper fan.
That was well before Alice
This was-
Cooper.
Yeah, this was. God, when was this? 2014, 2013.
Actually, I think when I was at Ray County, somebody referred back to that clip.
To the Alice Cooper clip.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me about that clip because I had mentioned something about it. I was like, "Oh, was that the same night as the Alice Cooper?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Like, sweet, people do watch her stuff.
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks. Anybody that catches this later, thank you for watching our stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
This is good stuff.
It's good stuff.
It is very good.
But that, yeah, I'd love to go back to that place. It was very, very, very interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold my tongue so I don't get in trouble. So
Well,
yeah,
just set up something. I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I know they've done events before, so guys, if the Midwest Mystery Tour does well, that could be a place that we could set up for next year.
that'd be sick.
So show some support if you're going to one of these events. Awesome.
Chad, what are you doing here?
Well, see, Silent, that's the thing. We didn't even hear it until we watched back on our video. It came through the video audio. We didn't hear it at the time.
Yeah,
That's what makes it an anomaly.
it's a phenomena.
A phenomena.
A phenomena.
So before we jump into the Ray County stuff, I want to take a pause. I'm going to go refuel real quick.
Okay.
I'm just going to loop the ad, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Do it.
We'll be right
back.
back. All right, we're back.
We're back.
That was quick. I grabbed my Mountain Dew from earlier today. I know I started drinking Mountain Dew again. Oh, God.
Mm. yes.
It worked so good.
Well, I've never heard during the filming. Weird. That's quite common in the paranormal world. Can't talk. So
Yep.
as you know, that
is called an EVP.
Yep. So Mitch obviously went along to Ray County, and this was his second investigation ever.
God bless him.
Right. And I told him a few times, I'm like, dude, I don't think you fully understand how lucky you are that your first investigation / event ever was with two people that are considered like high in the paranormal world. You know, that
Yeah,
they were
me and
part
you.
of. Yes, they were a part of it all. They started some, and your first location was Malvern of all places. Come on, my guy. Like I started in graveyards. Okay, well, actually, technically, I started in my house, but anyways, like it just was interesting, and he's lucky as hell. Plus, Chris Williams and Dustin Perry was there, so duh.
Yes.
And so I was like, you are one lucky mofo. You know how many people would give their right arm to see either one of them?
Oh, absolutely, man.
Exactly. So, anyways, had a great time. There was probably about 21, 22 people, including the team members themselves from Haunted Soul Society.
It's pretty big group.
Yes, it was a big group, but the amount of guests were small. It was a smaller event,
Right.
which I'm all about that, right? It's about
Mm.
15-ish. Like I said, Stephanie O'Reilly from McIntyre Villa was there. I think that was her first time ever going there. So
Really?
yeah, that was her first time being there ever. I was
I
very
could have sworn
thankful
she
that I
had
was
been there before.
Nope.
Wow.
That was her first time.
I'll be damned.
And, you know, she stole the show a few times, which it's Stephanie, so duh.
Yeah.
In a good way, in her bright pink personality way.
Her bubbly way.
Oh, dude. Like, she dyed some of her hair pink. She was wearing a pink shirt. I think she had pink shorts on, too. I can't remember. But she was doing her pink thing. And I had to tell her, because I'd seen the tape clip that she had. Like, that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like broad daylight just bloop, happening.
Her,
okay, cool.
Yeah, her reaction to that was
pretty priceless. Absolutely. What? Like, even looked at the camera. It was like, what? And then I had to tell her too. Like, I like what she's doing with the melted skeletons. I think it looks awesome. So I told her to keep doing it, and she actually posted a video. I think yesterday of another one, or not a video, but some pictures.
Yeah, I called her Stephanie the Impaler.
I mean, honestly,
she's just like shoving them on rebars.
Well, and then I did tell her that they have literal ballistic, like torso up to head and like half arm, you know, or up here at the arm of like bodies that when you hit it, it actually like bleeds. She was like, "No way! Like how do you know how to make it?" I'm like, "Well, no, I don't know how to make it.
No,
it's out there."
I mean, if you could, I mean,
yeah, right. I was like, "But that'd be sweet, right? Like how cool would that be?" So, there might be something like that eventually in her future.
If she gets a ballistic dummy, I'm going to be pretty impressed.
That'd be amazing. That would be so cool. Just have like another like skeleton like ramming a spear into it or something. Like that'd be.
For those of you that don't know, the Stephanie we're talking about, she's the owner of McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas, and she does decorate awesome, especially with like skeletons and a lot of. She's a Halloween girl.
Yes,
for sure.
Oh, very much so.
Very cool. But yeah. That'd be cool if she gets one of those.
Should have her on the show sometime. Just saying.
We could.
That'd be fun. That'd be really fun. We'd have to get her a beat button.
It's like mute her mic every 5 seconds.
More like every 2 seconds. Because you never know what's gonna.
Yeah,
she's great. So, and also real quick for those that don't know what Ray County Museum looks like, I'll give you just a quick outside picture here. It's a big place, and now that picture is horrible. Let's do the other view. Let's do that one. There we go. You can kind of see it. I know it's small, but so you have a wing going off to the left, and then a wing going off to the. Whoa, geez!
That picture.
I was trying to show the whole thing.
I know. I got you.
Trying to show the whole kit and caboodle, but
show that hole.
Right. There's 3 accessible floors: the basement, first floor, second floor. Yeah, I know. And each room on these wings, except for the section where Kathy she lives, which she's the one that takes care of the entire place. She's done a fantastic job.
I used to have an aerial shot where you can see like how it's built. It's like a boomerang.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly right. So each room has a specific theme, basically. There's 3 jail cells downstairs because it was also considered an overflow for the local jails. And it was a poor farm. And for those that don't know, a poor farm was just a place that poor people would go to live that couldn't afford to live on their own. And the number one person they love to talk about is this gal named Goldie, who was an orphan, and she had nowhere to go. So she lived there, I think, up till her death, isn't it?
Yes.
The thing about Goldie is she was deaf
and mute.
Deaf and mute. So tough, right? so they say that she likes to hang around there, and I believe there's a picture of her in the location, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Yes,
but it's in which I had to point it out to Mitch if it was the right one. But so yeah, the event went well. We all split up into two different groups. Some of us went to the second floor, and then some had the first floor and the basement. So this was a little different. We were just basically getting a feel for the rooms, like just like checking it all out, kind of like a little tour, right? And they were telling us on like the specific spots that most of the stuff would happen, but they wouldn't necessarily say what happened.
Right.
Except a couple times where we found out that there was some bad things down the wing where the school room is, which is on the second floor. But Mitch and I didn't really have any luck. Like the second floor, we didn't have any luck at all. Nothing really happened.
Huh.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, most of the time too that's not true. There was a couple times that we were down by the Civil War room and the Native American room, and cat balls didn't go off there at all. By the way, I had 3 of them set up. None of them went off at all. So that's a rarity for cat balls. I'm just saying, like it makes me like so that like and we were there for like 25-30 minutes in that section, and they never went off. I was so surprised. And I went over to check on them, like make sure they were on, make sure they were stable. Like none of them went off. The last time I was there, I had really good cat ball activity in that wing right there. So the fact that they didn't go off, my mind was blown. So we decided to go for the first spot. We decided to go down to the coal miner exhibit, and we just closed the door and started asking questions.
Yeah, that's what we did. That last event I was at there.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
Yeah, it was just Mitch and I. I went ahead and just closed it. Like we could hear people walking up down the stairs. No big deal, whatever. So we chalked it up to just that. So we laid a cat ball. I was sitting down where you can see the whole room pretty much. The door is over here on my right. The mannequin miner is over here on my left. And all the tools and stuff are behind me on top of the wall, and the huge pile of coal and stuff right here on the left. So I had my EDI meter about probably 5 feet away from me. Mitch was holding a K2 because he really wanted to use a K2. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Whatever, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I had a cat ball, put it over like 3 feet away from the mannequin miner. We started asking questions, and all of a sudden, cat ball just lights up out of nowhere. We weren't moving. Concrete floor. This thing should not be going off.
No.
So we were just like, okay, well, that's weird. Like, and then I did the whole thing of shouting, stomping, didn't set it off ever again. We had that one hit of cat ball, and that was it. And then I think my EDI went off a couple times. Now, in this place, you do have to be careful with the EDI because there's a lot of hotspots of EMF in the building just from the electronics or electricity alone. So
yeah.
I warned people several times like that were rolling around with other EMF things. Like, you guys need to check the floors, you need to check above, like the walls, everything. And of course, once we went lights out, it was a lot better, of course. But so we, like I said, we had the cat ball activity in that one room. I had a very interesting thing happen upstairs. On the second floor, they were doing an Estes session in the schoolroom. Nick was wearing the device, was doing it.
I saw him doing the live from there.
Yes.
So.
Okay. So this is, to me, where it gets interesting. This was probably the most substantial thing that I kind of like, it stood out to me a little bit. And because Nick had not so good times down in that wing beforehand.
Yeah.
So he and I are just, or not he and I, but they're just doing their session. I'm actually out in the hallway because there's like 4 people standing in the doorway watching them do the session. And I think Lori was the one asking questions. Nikki was making sure everything was going okay. I think she was the one holding the live stream. And pretty much right before we started getting some, not aggressive, but like agitated answers through the Estes or through the box. Oh, and here's the thing. He was using white noise. He wasn't using any specific boxes. He was using just white noise.
Right.
So all of a sudden, I started getting waves of anger and irritation. I kept feeling like, leave now, leave, 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 go away, leave, leave, leave. Just kept hitting me in thoughts, right?
Right.
And I just kept getting more upset and more upset. Then all of a sudden, some of the answers coming through the box were not very similar, but it did say leave one time.
Huh.
But then some of the other answers, it just sounded like irritation. Something wanted us to leave. It said pain at one point. They got the name Shelby out of it. So they were like, well, was it the name pain or was it the actual pain? Like,
Right. Yeah.
as you know, there is bars across that room up on the very top.
Yeah.
So that room was not a schoolhouse before.
No,
I don't know the exact history of that room. Lori might be able to enlighten me a little bit.
Well, on one side of that building was women, and the other side was men. They kept them separated. So, got freaked out when I went.
No! I hit my footed butt. Oh, probably effing butt upstairs. I don't know what. Okay, cool. Well, that's different because I was gone by that point. I think I left around 1-ish. Sorry. So to me, it was interesting that I was having those feelings, and then the irritation and agitation was coming through the method. He was saying things like that. So I went down, like, we had to pull Nick out of it because it was clearly affecting him. And we went to a safe space, and I told him about the same thing. And it was interesting how we were, like, it played off that, or I could just feel. Oh, I got to say, too, this building felt so charged with electricity. I had so many feelings in different rooms, but it just felt like this, whatever was there didn't want to talk or didn't want to do anything. But I could feel it, like, just watching me. It seriously felt like even when it was just Mitch and I doing our own thing and nobody was around us, it just felt like total charged in the atmosphere. And which I was telling Nick before, is like, well, hopefully if the storm's going through like earlier, that it will charge the atmosphere and things will happen.
Yeah.
But I just had I had more feelings there than I had at the sanatorium. Like, it felt like things were around pretty heavily.
What I find interesting is you're talking about the electronic type of communication, like coming through in just white noise. Wasn't like a radio station or anything like that. No. That's always been, well, not always. That my initial experience there when we filmed, everything outside of personal experience that happened before filming, everything that we had basically was electronic communication through electronic devices. I have a clip of one for an example that I want to show from the Ray County.
Do it. I've only got a couple more things to talk about with Ray County, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah, here's a clip with Aaron Thompson and John Long and myself.
Who's running the camera right now? Can you say his name again?
You hear that?
Yeah.
David.
Yeah,
yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, this thing, when we were up there filming, kept saying my name. We actually, if you watch the episode, we asked it to say where we're at.
Yeah.
And it would actually come through, say Ray County.
What were you using?
It was one of the apps that Aaron had.
Oh, okay.
Aaron, I think it was Necrophonics. I'm not sure.
That was pretty good. That said David. You could clearly tell it said David. That was pretty good. I tried not to use too much. Yeah. No, I
like
did.
Often.
Wow.
But the other thing is, like, you know, you were there at that event, the Paracon, the event afterwards, being down in the basement.
Oh,
I've heard audible voices down there.
Yep.
And captured them. Down in that, on the far end, which would be the women's side of the building.
Yes.
past
What
the farming gear.
That was
In the
where the man was. It in that room where the man chained himself? Like
No.
up?
No.
Wrong way.
This was you know the room with all the books down in the basement? It's at the very end on the left.
Oh, the political room, I like to call it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was outside that in that hallway, and I seen like
Okay.
this figure
Oh.
dart in, and I wasn't filming then. I was just walking down there, and I seen it, and I started getting really super uncomfortable. Like I couldn't even progress down there, and that's something I do. I would go towards stuff like this, but for some reason, I could not get the courage to go down there. I ended up calling Angel and having her doing a reading while I was trying to build up towards this, and she was hitting on some things, and I was like, I kept going down there, and I turn around, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going back, and then I'd be like, I gotta go see what it was though.
Yeah.
And then I start going down there and be like, I don't need to see this, and then I'd go back, did that like 3 or 4 times, and then but yeah, like seeing a shadow down there was kind of cool. So
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to get down there for the Midwest Mystery Tour though.
Dude,
We'll get up there.
I can't
guess,
wait.
for me.
I can't wait.
Yep.
Cannot wait for the Midwest Mystery. That's gonna be so much fun, especially at that location. So shoot.
Oh, the God helmet from
I think they call it.
80.
Yeah, whichever one it's called. So, which I didn't get to see it in action, which is okay. I don't really need to see it in action, but
I've
it's still
used
a
it
pretty
down
cool
there.
device. Oh, I used it at McIntyre. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And so a couple other things that had happened that were very interesting that I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch finally had him like a whoa moment.
Yeah.
And so we were in the jail cell downstairs in the basement. It was the 2 cells next to each other right when you come down the stairs. And he had the K2, had a cat ball, and we put the cat ball, like he put the cat ball in the middle of the room, and we started asking questions. Well, we weren't really getting any answers. I step out of the room. Mitch goes, "Can you turn the cat ball on?" Boom. Cat ball turns on. And then I go, "Hey, now can you turn," like shortly after, I go, "Can you turn it off now?" Because you know when the cat balls go off, it takes a minute for it to finally go off.
Yeah.
Like it takes like not a minute, but like a pretty good
A little bit of
section
time.
of time.
Yeah.
Almost immediately after I asked, "Can you turn it off?" it turns off. So it was like something had done it. Well, Mitch had asked, why was there no K2 hits when the cat ball was going off? I'm like, well, here's the thing about the paranormal. Sometimes spirits don't just like spirits will make things go off and they won't make other things happen. Like just because it goes off with one thing doesn't mean it's going to go off with the other. Plus, if they want to make it happen, they'll make it happen, right? Like
Right.
it's not always, you're not always going to get readings from devices. So, oh wow, okay, Lori. Saturday night was a completely different night, different feeling for me. Never been spooked there before. It was different. I've definitely felt different vibes there, like I've never felt before either. And that was my 3rd time being there, so it was interesting. But then, so after the first cat ball session, we went over to the next cell and started asking some questions. Literally, without hesitation, Mitch couldn't even finish his sentence. He's like, "Can you turn the cat?" And then just turns on as he was asking a question. And I was like, "Look at that." And he's like, "Whoa, like what in the?" But then
What
you have
tarnation?
right. But then you have moments where we're on the 2nd floor and nothing is happening with the cat balls. So
Yeah.
I really believe there is something with those that works. I just don't know what. Oh, it definitely made him a lot less skeptical. I definitely agree with that. Because he came home and had a not a nightmare, but like he's very heavy on dreams. Like,
Yeah.
like he'll watch a scary movie and like he'll have dreams about something that happened in the scary movie. So what did he say he dreamed? He dreamed that he stood in one of the rooms and was just crying profusely, just crying. And I'm like, well, I don't think he didn't tell me. I don't think he remembered, but he said that he was in one of the rooms and he was just crying. And I was just like, well,
Then you
that's
can relate that to
interesting.
Nick and
Right.
his experiences.
Right. So I was like, well, maybe there's something to his dreams.
Yeah.
So maybe, but those were the two. Like that was the things that really happened for me. I didn't really run with a recorder because there was just a bunch of people, and it was just it's impossible to go through a recorder when there's that many people. You hear a female voice. It was a ghost. No, it was somebody upstairs.
Probably
somebody out in the hallway. Like it's just it's fine. I generally don't run recorders anymore at events.
See, that's the thing. Like, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make sure people know this with the tour. Is like this tour is not going to be like your regular ghost hunt where you're having recorders and all that. You can do that if you like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to recommend it because there's going to be a lot of people. What I'm after to do with these events is to give people personal experiences.
See, and that's something I had mentioned to Mitch too. I was like, look, don't rely on the tools necessarily. Events are more about personal experiences and stuff, which is why we weren't really recording anything either. I didn't record with a camera or anything like that. I was like, look, I'm in like right now, I'm doing this to have a personal experience.
Right.
That's what I care about. And if people believe me, they don't like, if people believe me, cool. If they don't believe me, cool. I don't care.
Right.
It's all about my experience. And if he's there to witness the experience with me, even better. But yeah, it was what you were saying. Sorry. He's fixing his mic.
Yeah, I had to fix that because it was kind of getting annoying being up there.
Very nice.
But no, like, you know, not only do I want people to have a personal experience, obviously I'm going to experiment on them.
Well, yeah.
To kind of give them a boost to this, but you know, I think it's more fun when you can focus on what's in front of you rather than hoping that you've captured something.
Absolutely.
So, you know, like I said, I can't wait to do the event there at Ray County. It's going to be a blasty blast.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll probably put up a poll here pretty soon. Hell, I'll put up a poll now. Anybody watching? The creepiest part. What's the creepiest spot in Ray County? What is the creepiest spot to you? Go in the comment section.
I'm going to say mine, but I really got to think about it because I really didn't have like creepy feelings. Actually, I think the creepiest spot for me is standing in the hallway next to all the mannequins, like literally in the hallway in darkness.
Yeah.
It is so friggin' oh yeah, by the way, ask Stephanie to send you that picture of her with the mannequin.
Okay.
Just sometime. Just like, hey, Charles said something about the mannequin and picture and you smiling, and like it was I think the Daughters of the Revolution room. There's a mannequin that's just like and she just recreated it perfectly. So highly recommend that. She took it on her phone, so I would send it, but I don't have it. Genealogy room. Okay, so every time she was in the genealogy room alone, I shut the door and they think yeah. It's an interesting place. I mean, so the last time I was there before this last time, when I had it just in the investigation with myself and two friends of mine, I think it was the Daughters of the Revolutionary War. No, the Mormon room. The Mormon room, there's papers that are on like that couch in there, like little bench. There's like different kinds of papers. They were on the floor. They were just on the floor, spread out. And I asked Kathy, I was like, hey, is this normal? She's like, no, they're supposed to be on here. And I'm like, oh, well, this is how we found them. Just so you know.
We didn't do this.
Yeah, we didn't do it. This is how we found it. So
don't get us in trouble. Damn
exactly.
Ghost. Oh, trying to get us in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. But it was an interesting place. Can't wait to go there. It's gonna be a good time.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight. Yeah. Took up a lot more time than I thought it was gonna.
I did too. We talked about the sanatorium a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's okay. Cool. It's our experiences.
Yes. Maybe sometime I will play the old video. You guys can see that. We got to get a lot more support on the channel. We got to get thumbs up, likes on the video. We got to get shares and all that crap. So that's what we need. We need to expand and build on that.
The shares on it, really the shares on the events for
Yes.
for
Mystery
the Midwest Mystery Tour, that would be the most helpful part. That would be amazing.
We can get people to go to these places.
Yeah.
Next year. If this goes well, guys, I'm going to expand on it. I'm going to build. There's also something else I'm working on in conjunction. Possibly.
What's up, Kaio? Lori, I guess I don't really know which one the tack room is. Do you know what that one is?
Ooh. Tack room would be like the military gear, right? Or is that the horse stuff? Do we contact spirits? Not like psychics.
No, not like that.
No, we're not psychics or nothing like that.
Nah, just investigators.
Paranormal researchers.
I mean, I have feelings, but not like that.
And we do know some psychics. I mean,
we do know some psychics.
I'm trying
credible psychics.
Trying to get Angel on. Trying.
I would love to have her on again.
Yes. Jeez.
I'm trying to think of what tack room. I typed in ghost hunting and found this live. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
Glad that I found live. Sorry, it was the end of the show, but
yeah.
Once this ends, though, you'll be able to go back and actually watch the show because we do talk about our ghost hunting from this past weekend, and his ghost hunting from weekends before.
Way long ago. But give us a sub on here, and our show covers everything from paranormal, true crime, and conspiracy. So
yeah,
every Monday at 8 p.m. Central.
Boom.
Every Monday. But yeah, we'll flesh it out. We'll flesh out the what's to come with the Midwest Mystery Tour.
We'll say more, and we'll get more, and it's gonna be a great time. I have literally. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm gonna count this up before we leave. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 minute. 8, 9, 10, 11 days.
Whoa.
No, 12 days of work before I go on vacation.
Oh shit! Yeah,
12 days of work before I'm on vacation, guys. Counting down the days.
So now you got me looking to see how many more days. I got like 3 weeks.
Thank you, Lori. I do appreciate that. We do appreciate that. Farm and horse room in the basement. Okay, that room. Yeah. Gotcha.
Jeez.
That's a krypton. I didn't get to spend as much time down there. So,
yeah, if you're part of any Facebook groups, guys,
share them.
Midwest Mystery Tours on Facebook. Share that. You can share the Eventbrite page. Just go to Eventbrite and type in Midwest Mystery Tour. You can find the events there. If you want to go to one of the events, get your tickets on Eventbrite. Yeah. With October coming up, I expect the ticket sales to start. You're from Connecticut?
Dope. That's a lot of haunted places there.
We are in Missouri. The Midwest Mystery Tour is going to be pretty much in the Midwest, obviously. Covering it. Eventually, it might grow out to the East Coast. We might be doing some events next year. I don't know. We'll see. Doing some Paracons.
Yeah,
I do plan on doing some Paracons next year. I kind of took some time off since my Paracon from doing Paracon.
Well, I understand why. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah. I got asked a few, and I just
yeah.
But
travel's expensive.
Oh, there's that too.
But
anyway, yeah. Welcome to the channel, Kyle. And
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, guys, we will catch you here next Monday night.
Yep.
I'm feeling kind of true crimey.
Okay. Just don't kill anybody.
We'll see. I'm not promising anything.
All right.
By the way, guys, I'm going to reveal this for the people that stuck around. Harold Shipman was a serial killer. He was a modern day serial killer who was attributed with over 250 kills.
Wow.
He was a doctor who overdosed patients and gave them absurd dosages. Yes. Sounds weird. But anyway, he hung himself.
Doses?
Sure. I think it was 2004 he hung himself in prison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I hope he Epsteined himself.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
All right, guys. We are out of here.
Bye,
Peace.
everybody. Thanks for joining us.
See you on the other side.